I like to get a swing trade out of this. The risk isn't too big, like just it's 2 points. So even just going for 5 points, that's considered a swing trade just based off of the risk reward. So gap up today, but then the market kind of trickled down throughout the day, and well, actually, so we're still ahead of yesterday's close. So far, it's still a bullish day. The trend was never really all that strong, although it did trickle down during the day. And the issues were it started here when you got this big bear bar close on its low, and then what happened? The next bar was a bull bar. The next bar was a bar that was higher up, and it couldn't even go below the bar. And then you just started trickling up with these bull bars. Then when you look at this bear attempt to go lower again here, that's showing the bears trying to go short again, and then they failed again. And now we're above the moving average. So this is a good sign that the bulls will probably try to buy this up. We're in the last hour or so of the day. The bears are probably going to get out here after being in control most of the day, and then they'll let the bulls win here in the last hour. If that's the case, the open of the day is above. It's up here. And that'll be a clearer target if the bulls can really get some buying going.
Order filled.
All right, so we got filled there. Would like to, I'll just keep my profit at 5 points, and so it's a scalp profit, but really it's a swing trade just based off of the risk reward. Now, I guess we can go ahead and look at today's moves while we're letting this trade play out. First two bars, two bull bars, although there were tails on top, so not really a great place to buy. Then you end up with a third bar, though, and then that is closing near its high. And what we've been talking about is we really want to try to stay focused on buying. And so after gap up or gap down, really, but here we had the gap up and then two bull bars and a third bull bar. We've now had 3 bull bars in a row. Good chance we're going to go higher from there. Although you do have to be aware of how far from the moving average you are. You're almost 30 points away up here. So you just got to be aware of that if the market starts to pull back. But buying here, you would have pretty easily gotten a scalp out of that. Holding for a swing trade is more difficult because you are so far away from the moving average. Although some days you will get that where it just continues up and it just stays far above the moving average for a long time. Yesterday we were talking about how the bar buying above bar 2 should be a swing trade, and that's true. So why would buying above this, why would that be better for a scalp? Well, it's just the way the bars got arranged this time. So now with this bar being a third bar, it's a little bit inside. It is an inside bar of bar 2, and it's setting up better for a scalp. So you buy above, you put your stop 4 points below, and then you try to get out 5 points. Versus yesterday with only 2 bars, it's really not enough yet to try to be scalping. I'd rather still be swing trading. But when you get that third bar in a row, then that increases the chances that you're going to get that little bit more up. So that's really what you're seeking, is your higher probability. So then you get 4 and 5 bull bars, and then the market just kind of fails from there. There was really no bullishness after that. So 2 bear bars, and then bulls try to pull back, and then we're getting a second leg lower, and an idea for a short is shorting here. Now, as we look at the highest close of the day up to that point, it's up here. Market pulled back. Bulls could not get back to that close. They see the moving average way below, even below this bar. It's still 7 points below at this point. So there's room to the moving average. Bulls are probably giving up for a little bit more. And with this little inside bear bar, they like to exit below that. So I think that's kind of good to try to get a scalp. And you could do a scalp just to the moving average. You could try to catch something like I did here and try to do a swing trade down. That's fine. I mean, we are on the open, so there are lots of those opening reversals. So maybe this is just a failed attempt to go higher, and then the market, sells off for the rest of the day, which is kind of what we've gotten. But, I am just so bullish on the market that I would rather try to focus on the longs and not try to get too carried away with trying to get short during these days. Market pulls below the moving average. Now, if you've been watching the videos, if you've been studying what I've been teaching, what do you think I'm going to say when the market gets below it, like it does right here? There's no clear bearish entry, but if you go down to a lower time frame, you can try to find shorts in this area. So you can see 5 bars, 2 closing below the moving average, the close of yesterday's below. Here we're pulling back to the moving average. We'll probably try to make another attempt lower, but I'm not really getting a bearish setup here on the 5-minute chart. So you can try to drop down to a lower time frame. So here's the 2000 tick chart, and try to look for shorts on the 2000 tick chart. And here's 2 possibilities that are in that area. Notice when you're doing this, if you put your stop right above, you might have to be wrong a couple times, 2 or 3 times before you're right and get your bigger swing trade down. So either you put your stop basically way up here and you just stay in it until you're clearly wrong, or you put your stop above the signal bar and take your small losses until you're right. So, this is pretty common. You can do a lot with just trying to take these little shorts after there's a pullback to the moving average like that and try to get your next leg down. That happens quite a bit. All right, looking at our trade. So we got our entry bar was a bull bar, so that's good. You got this big tail on top. It's a little precarious. So we'll see how this closes. So it's going to end as not the best looking bar. We'll go ahead and exit below that bar. So we'll leave our stop there, and if market stays above it, then that's cool. We're somewhat in this range here. Well, we'd rather not be seen to try to fail above the high of that range and then pull back. So I think it's okay to just try to exit below a bear bar if it does that. Because really we're looking for the market to start moving up pretty quickly to try to get up to the open of the day up here. So if it's not doing that, then I'd rather just take a small loss. And this, it would be a pretty small, it's just a point here. So continuing with review while this plays out. These bars right here. So once again, it's a pullback to the moving average, so you could probably try to look for shorts on a lower time frame. But it also has kind of a triangle look to it. And I could go down to the lower time frame, and you'll probably see some sort of triangle pattern here. If anything, it's a trading range, and probably the first attempt to break out of it is going to fail, which is what happens here. So triangle tries to break out above it, fails. Now it pulls back to the center of that triangle.
Stop filled.
All right, so we got took a small loss there. So it came back to the center of the triangle, or the center of the trading range, and to the moving average. So once again, now that we're looking like we're getting stuck below this moving average, it'd be good to try to look for shorts in this area. And this is one of those days where you just don't really get many entries the way you want them on the 5-minute chart, and so you're going to be looking at the lower time frame and try to enter below signal bars on the lower time frame. So the market is staying stuck below the moving average, but you have to be wary of these large bull bars you're getting, like here and then here. Strong bull close here, one here, another strong close here. So that needs to be somewhat worrisome for the bears, because if they were so strong, why are we getting so many strong bulls instead? So there needs to be consideration that we might not have all that much down, all that much more down. But look at the possible short you have here. You have a big bear bar closing on its low, and you're in this bear trend, then you're getting a follow through bar. So I like this sell here, but I think you need to be trying to swing trade because of what we were talking about, where the bulls have been strong during that. So the odds of this turn into a trading range, and we're just low in a trading range, is increased because of these strong bull moves. So if you're selling here, I think you need to try to do a swing trade down. So bulls get another one of their strong legs up. They buy up here. Now, when I'm seeing this, I'm thinking this might be the trap. So this might be where the bears down here are trapped, because this is probably a reasonable short to take. And then, if we kind of stair stepped it down, so we had this low, and then the next low was here, then another low here, and so we've kind of just been taking these steps down. There's been buyers below all of these levels, so good chance we're getting lower in this range, possibly bears trapped here. So once I see these bull moves like this, and like a third follow through bar like this, I'm also thinking it's good to trying to buy above that. Kind of like the reason we took the trade at the start of the video. We're thinking the bears are trapped, so we're wanting to try to buy and try to get back up to the open of the day. Big bear move down, really no place to try to enter to get short, and instead the market actually starts creeping up, and then you get above the moving average again, and then now this might even be a better place for traps. Now we have, anytime you get the clearest bear bar late in a trend, you should be cautious, and so that's what we're getting here. If it's kind of noticeably strong like this, but we've already been short the whole day, then watch that, because there's probably something unusual going to happen with it. And so then here we go, we're getting this unusual follow through. So if you're buying here, try to be swing trading up, because there could be a big trap occurring in this area. And then of course we have the buy that we took here. Now, what is kind of a pattern that played out today was a very typical spike and channel bear move. So here we have our spike, fairly tight channel down, and that turned into a less strong bear channel, which is what we get here. It was spike down, channel. Then what's next in the market cycle is a trading range. And where did the trading range start? It actually started way over here. So we're drawing our box here. It's not always going to be so clear when it's happening, but in hindsight, we can clearly see now that we've been in the trading range now actually since 10:30, and it started way over here. And I think an initial sign of that would have been this pullback to the moving average that we got here. So strong move down, pull back to the moving average, and then you notice that ended up being the upper end of the range for the rest of the day. So this is kind of a harder area for the market to get above. This was a pullback area, and that just created a piece of resistance there. And once the market went lower and tried to pull back, then this is what the market saw, and so it was hard to get above that level that it had already made. Another thing, we have the low of the bar 1, and so the low of the bar 1, that's support, and then if we break below it, then all of a sudden that becomes resistance. So this whole area here kind of becomes that important level, and that's what it just held the market down the whole day below that. Looking at Bitcoin, another strong day for Bitcoin. I'm not going to buy this one. I mean, I'm holding my personal Bitcoin. I'm not going to enter here, but it looks like we have the bull move up, then a pullback. So this is a bear. This is a bull flag. Pull back to the moving average. And now we're trying to break out above this previous high again. So we'll see if the bulls are able to do that. And I mean, I'm just going to continue holding my, my actual Bitcoin that I hold. And a lot of the coins are going up. Solana, Litecoin, Ethereum, everything is kind of making a big move up or already breaking above its all-time high. So the whole crypto market is just having a nice move up right now. Crude had a bearish day today. If you saw from the video yesterday, wanted to get a little bit more below this level, and then it'd probably start to look for shorts on the intraday, and then kind of have that higher probability short trade for that.